Hi guys, my name is Alex. I am a sex coach, and today I'm going to be reacting to some embarrassing sex stories that I found on the internet. We're going to read them, we're going to laugh, hopefully, maybe cringe, and maybe we can learn something from these. But in general, I'm just going to have some fun reading these embarrassing stories. I am no stranger to embarrassing sexual encounters, and I would assume that some of you out there probably are not either. So let's all feel a little bit better about ourselves and our sexual encounters by reading the awful, tragic sexual stories that we're going to read today. Starting with number 1. In college, my girlfriend and I were going at it semi-quietly in her dorm room as to not disturb her roommates. At one point, she moved down really quickly and ended up slamming her head into mine, causing me to see stars. Needless to say, that ended things pretty quickly as I tried to get the world to stop spinning. The worst part was her roommates heard the whole thing and were real concerned with the red spot on my forehead later on. So, it's not that embarrassing, it's not that bad. I guess if it could have caused a concussion, which would have been worse, then we would have been sex sent me to the ER reaction like I've done before. Check those out. They're great. Anyway, let's move on because that one wasn't too embarrassing. These are from Cosmopolitan, by the way, and if you're not new to my channel, then you know how I feel about Cosmopolitan magazine. If you are new, then welcome. Hope you enjoy the video, and also Cosmopolitan sucks. So, moving on. One time while I was having sex, I asked the girl if she wanted me to pull out. "Don't worry, I won't get pregnant," was her response. Followed by, "Even if I do, we'll have super cute babies." Not what you want to hear when you're 18 years old. 18 years old and don't want to have a child, I guess. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's not that embarrassing either. So, let's see if this picks up at number 3. Sophomore year of college, I had this roommate. We didn't talk much, so when I wanted to check if the room was clear to have someone over, wink wink, I only asked our third roommate, not the other one. So there I am going at it in our room, and my exchange student roommate walks in the door. Bad enough as is, I was actually having sex on his desk. Imagine coming home after a long day of class to find your roommate effing someone right on your desk. So that's a pretty embarrassing one. I'll say that. Why do it on his desk? It's kind of a dick move, I think. I mean, would you want this guy to do it on your desk? This is something that I don't quite comprehend, I guess. I guess if it was the heat of the moment and you're in that fit of passion, then you just want to do it anywhere. But I mean, on someone else's desk, I mean, have some respect, I think. Next one. Number 4, once I tried to spice up a blowjob with Nutella. Turns out Nutella is not conducive to blowjobs, or indeed doing anything with your mouth that does not involve swallowing said Nutella. Sex session devolved into laughter, blue balls, and the surprisingly sleazy act of washing Nutella off myself in the shower. So yeah, I guess it's too thick. It's like spread peanut butter down there and you're just swallowing the peanut butter. Yeah, you could die doing this, I think. I think you could suffocate on this. So don't try this. Let this be a lesson to us all. I feel like these embarrassing stories are like the stories that didn't make it on Sex Sent Me to the ER because fate didn't strike them with bad luck and cause them to suffocate or get a concussion or whatever it is. The thing that we can learn from this is to laugh from your mistakes. Don't dwell on these things. Who cares? I mean, sex should be fun, right? So make it fun. Don't make it so serious. Next one. We were both a little drunk. Always a great recipe for amazing sex. I could tell that she was nervous, so I told her to let me know if she was uncomfortable and we could stop. She assured me that she was okay to keep going. We have sex for a little while, and she starts bleeding. I noticed first, and don't make a big deal out of it since it's happened to me before. She is mortified. I let her use my shower and tell her that she's more than welcome to spend the night if she'd like. She refuses, so I drive her home. We texted a few times after that, but never hung out again. I found out a few weeks later that it was her first time having sex since high school, which certainly explains why she was so upset. Okay, so that tells me that he didn't spend enough time in foreplay. He didn't turn this girl on enough. Either that or she just had her period and it was really bad timing. Sex shouldn't be painful for women, and it should definitely not cause bleeding. And if it does, then you are not spending enough time arousing that person. Women need time physiologically to get ready for sex. Their vagina actually expands. They get lubricated, right? You all know, you should know, but a lot of men, they don't spend enough time in foreplay and they don't arouse enough because they themselves, they're just ready to go right when they see the naked body. They just want to have sex right away. And so you gotta spend time and put that time investment in so that this doesn't happen. Number 6. It was a one-night stand after jumping around to a few parties. By the time we got back to my place, it was 4:30 a.m. and we were still pretty drunk. Between how tired I was and the alcohol, I couldn't keep it up for very long, and we both ended up falling asleep unsatisfied. So if you're having casual sex and one-night stands, you're going to be unsatisfied no matter what because that sex sucks. What are you planning on happening here? You both don't know each other. You have no idea what you guys like sexually. You're both drunk. You're tired. I mean, this is the recipe for a disaster anyway. Most men have had performance issues. It's pretty embarrassing, but it's not like a crazy embarrassing thing. Alcohol will do it. So, yeah. What we can learn from that is don't have casual hookups, don't have one-night stands. It's not going to lead to that great of sex. And drinking and sex, it's not a good combo. There are a lot of consequences to your actions, and when you're drinking, those consequences tend to kind of go out the window. Anyway, next one. We're on the couch watching a movie at her parents' house, and I am bulging, rock solid, ready for her parents to get to sleep so we can get to business. Finally, we hear the door close and wait a few minutes, and it's go time. It starts with some making out, with some hands moving under a blanket. All clothes remained on as to maintain plausible deniability. My hand crept down her pants slowly. I continued to kiss her neck and use my fingers until out of nowhere we hear her mother shout her name, tacking on, "Can you come here for a second?" Next thing I know, she comes back tomato red and says, "I gotta go." Turns out her mom actually peeked in after saying goodnight and watched this entire ordeal. That is a good embarrassing story and one that, yeah, I can understand why she turned tomato red. If I were in that position, I'd be like, come join us. I mean, why'd you just watch, you weirdo? You could have come in on the action. I'm kidding. Don't sleep with your girlfriend's mom. That'd be weird. That's something they do in porn, and porn is bad. Okay? That was an embarrassing one. I think that would be the most embarrassing for me. Just because you would want to, you want to be like the good boyfriend to your girlfriend's family, and that kind of taints the whole thing, but I don't know. I mean, they should expect that you're going to have sex, so. Anyway, 8. We were having pretty standard sex, and I guess I did something right because she jerked and ended up kneeing me in my hip, where I have an old soccer injury. I immediately cried out in pain, and we had to stop for the night. So yeah, I mean, that would suck. Have I ever had an experience that was like painful that I had to stop? Don't think so. Nothing's coming to mind. Probably. That's not too embarrassing. That's just kind of something that you can laugh about because that's just a funny thing. And that's just kind of like coincidental. Like how are you gonna prevent that? I mean, that's just a funny thing that you can laugh about. Number 9. After I spent the whole day helping my girlfriend of about 5 months move out of her apartment, she and I headed over to my place for some alone time. Unfortunately, we had to bring her cat along too. While we started watching a movie, the cat wandered outside of the room to explore. Unsurprisingly, the movie time quickly turned carnal and we shut the door. Right after closing the door, she went down on me while I was still standing. Before long, I was just about ready, and then we hear loud crashing and meows from the kitchen. I went limp right in my girlfriend's mouth, and then we both started laughing. I mean, it's this kind of embarrassing. It's just kind of funny. I feel like it's going to strengthen their relationship, and then future sexual experiences are going to be better because you're kind of more comfortable with each other. And that's the thing. These embarrassing stories aren't bad. They're not the end of a relationship. They shouldn't be. These things can bond you guys together and get you guys more comfortable having sex with each other, and that's going to lead to better sexual experiences. So yeah, embrace these things, enjoy them, and laugh about them, and it's not a big deal. Number 10, the final one from this article. I had hooked up with a woman for a one-night stand. Not gonna be good. We were interrupted by her roommate, who was the daughter of a very conservative preacher. I spent the rest of the night getting passages read to me from the Bible. Wow. Okay, that would be extremely awkward. But again, don't have one-night stands, and this kind of stuff won't happen to you. And if you don't have one-night stands, you will have better sexual experiences because of it. Because like I said, the more comfortable you are with that person, the better sexual experiences will be. So, if you're with someone that you know and trust and love, then by that logic, you're going to have better sex with that person. So anyway, these weren't that embarrassing, and I would say if you do have an embarrassing encounter, embrace it, laugh about it, enjoy it. It's going to strengthen your relationship down the road because these are just things that are funny. They're funny stories to tell other people, and it's just awesome. So go out there, have sex. Sex should be fun, not serious. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something maybe, and I hope you guys get out there and have some better sex.